You're listening to the Restoration Podcast, conversations of hope and healing. Join us as we talk about subjects dealing with ministry, faith, everyday life, and other hot topics. Our prayer is that these conversations bring encouragement to your life. All right, here we are.
We're back.
We're back.
Metaphorically.
And literally.
Yes. New change of scenery.
Pastor Scott, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Doing good?
I'm excited about the new changes that we made to the studio.
Same. We'll get to that here. The time of this, it's what, fall now?
Yep, it's October 2nd.
So you and I, when's the last time me and you sat down to do this together? Not like just one and a guest and then the other guy producing. It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a while.
So Scott and I were chatting about this podcast, and it's been, when did we start? 2 years ago?
Long time.
And why don't you talk about what was the original vision originally?
I think I know for a fact our original vision was just having conversations that bring hope and healing.
Correct.
And it wasn't, at first we weren't really centered or wanting to center our whole podcast around bringing guests in. But then we found getting in the rhythm. That's what we did, and I think that
it worked. It worked. It was good.
It was good. I'm not saying it was bad, but I think that now we're gonna start releasing more of just you and I talking about current topics, current things going on, things about that's going on in the churches, in our church, exciting things like that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's going to be the format from now on, and have some guests here and there.
Yeah, I was going to say guests aren't going away.
Oh, yeah.
But the original plan was me and you doing like a weekly thing. And that's the thing is we can't confirm nor deny, but we might be able to do these, release them more frequently.
Yeah.
Since we're doing that. But you had touched on something. We have updated our studio.
Yes, we have. So our studio was originally downstairs in our student center, and now we moved it up to one of the classrooms on the main level, you would say, and it's much more accessible.
Yes, we had a lot set up. So y'all remember what it looked like? There was a table, and we sat behind these chairs. We'll get to the chairs in a second, and then we had lights and all this equipment. The cameras are the same cameras we use to live stream for church services.
And they're not light.
So we had to move them every time we recorded. And so we'd have to load them on a cart and then go to an elevator, which I know now that I say it, I'm like, that's not too bad. But after doing it week after week. So now we're on the same floor, same level. So we still have to load them on a cart, but we don't have to do the elevator thing.
Well, the elevator's not the bad part. The bad part is when you get down to the studio.
Oh, that's right.
Start setting up, and then you realize you forgot something. And then it's usually you that has
usually me.
You go back up and you grab it, you come back down, and then you realize you forgot something else. So you have to go back, and it'll make the trips quicker and
closer.
Easier.
Plus, I forgot that the studio downstairs, there's more stairs. So you take the elevator, and then there's more stairs. So anyway, less stairs, same level, more accessible. And so let's get to the chairs. So y'all don't know this because we don't talk about it, but the table which Ben helped us make, that was a fun project.
It was a beautiful table.
Yeah, it's really nice. We'll use it for something. And it was a fun project we did. We built it for the podcast, but it was a high table. We just kind of used recycled parts. And so we got these high chairs. I didn't think about it, but when you sit in those chairs for more than how long?
I mean, for me, 20 minutes, and I'm pretty well tired of sitting down.
Your back is my back is killing me.
On the episode that we shot about Pride, where it was me, Pastor Ben, and Hannah, I literally didn't sit in a chair the entire episode because I couldn't do it.
So there was a guest we had, Rochelle Rawson, has an incredible testimony.
Oh, yes.
And I was sitting with her, and you were the producer switcher, and she went for 2 hours. Now, we did take a break.
But it's a short break, though.
But after that first hour, I stood up, and I'm like, my back is killing me.
And then you had to sit down.
And I had to sit down for another hour. So those chairs were just not it wasn't great. So anyway, we're not. That's the other change we're making, and I'll get to that. But I'll say it now. We're doing mostly audio only because they're a lot quicker to edit and get out.
Yep.
The video is great. I love it. But it takes so much longer to edit and put together. And Pastor Scott and I have a lot of responsibilities here at the church.
Yep.
Between worship pastor and youth pastor, and so we just need to we had to kind of shift our priorities a little bit. I was feeling slight conviction with certain weeks when I spent most of my day on a podcast thing, and then like later that day, I'm like, I'm not even ready for Sunday.
Yeah.
Right now, it wasn't. I was always prepared, but it was getting to that point where I was like, so anyway, this will save time, and we'll be able to put out more. But anyway, what I'm getting at is we're in much more comfortable
Yes.
chairs.
Much more comfortable chairs, much more comfortable environment. And now that we're sitting where we are sitting, 2 years into this thing, I have one question.
What is it?
2 questions.
Okay, what are they?
What was your favorite episode we ever did?
Ooh.
And who was your favorite guest?
Oh, do we have to do the favorite guest? So that's okay. Can you answer it first? Did you think
Okay.
about it already?
So my favorite episode that we ever did was
So far.
the one that I had Ryan Yates in. We sat down, we talked about youth ministry, we heard his story, we heard his heart, things like that. That was one of my favorite episodes. My personal favorite guest that we ever had was when Michelle Rawson came on, and she told her story because
Oh yeah,
her testimony was so powerful. Not that I will preference this.
yeah.
All the other guests are amazing. We've
Yeah.
had amazing guests. We've
Yeah.
had your wife, my wife. We've had Pastor Bill, Pastor Johnny, Jonathan Bartholow,
Doug Clay.
Doug Clay. We've had amazing guests. But that one was just one that I got to, for those 2 hours, I got to sit in the back and I got to be the one switching camera angles, different things like that. And it was just one of those moments where I was like, man, a powerful, powerful testimony. And so that's one of my favorite
I
guests.
think my favorite episode we've done was one of the first ones we've done, and that was with my wife Tori. Not because she's my wife. I mean, that's a lot of it. No, but she spoke about her living with anxiety, and it was just a relatable topic.
It was good stuff.
And it was a beautiful woman to look at the whole time. My wife.
You know,
come on.
truthfully-
I'd rather look at her for an hour than you. I'm just
I'm
being
going to be honest. If I'm in an episode, I don't listen to it. I don't like hearing my
Really?
voice.
Really,
But
I listened to every single one.
that episode is the episode that I've listened to the most.
Really,
With you and your wife, I've listened to that episode probably 4 or 5 times.
yeah. It's. I mean, we have chemistry.
Yeah,
I
and I
hope
mean,
so.
well, it's
But
just
that was my favorite episode.
it was just honest conversation, and that's kind of
and that was
that's
the
what we wanted.
original vision.
Yeah.
Not that the other stuff wasn't honest, but for example, I was telling Scott this, which by the way, I'm really amazed at some of the people that we got on.
Yeah,
Like, Jeff Dio was I couldn't believe it. I just randomly emailed him and then he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And so and then my previous pastor from Missouri, Pastor Jim Bradford,
yeah.
and then Pastor Doug Clay, the general superintendent, I was really surprised.
I have a joke that I joke around, and I say this is Aaron's podcast.
Please don't.
It's not. It's our podcast.
It is,
But
yeah.
I say that because Aaron is a lot more passionate about getting really cool guests on. I'm like, oh, I got so and so, blah blah. Nobody knows who they are, but Aaron's over here asking Jeff Dio, asking Doug
Yeah.
Clay, asking our superintendent for the state of Iowa. He's asking all these people, and I'm just like, yeah, I interviewed a youth pastor once.
Yeah. So I brought all that up to say that I love that I've met so many cool people through this and gotten to hear amazing testimonies. And again, guests aren't going away. We're just not doing it as frequently. But what I say all that because, and I have a favorite. I'm still answering your question. It's just a long answer, just a super long answer. But I don't always really know those people very well. So like Pastor Doug Clay, I don't know that well. And so I have to kind of do my homework ahead of time and think, what am I going to ask or stuff like that. Whereas me and you, we know each other really well. We're pretty good friends.
Yeah.
And so there's chemistry.
Yep.
And there's not always that with every guest, which is why I think Tori's episode, my wife, was my favorite one. And then another great one we did was me, Pastor Bill, Pastor Ben. We talked about like worship pastor,
That was a good
worshiping
episode.
through doing worship ministry, music ministry over 35 years. And again, that chemistry is there. You can hear it, because we know each other. So that's kind of the other perk of me and you doing these is that we know each other really well, which I want to point out to these listeners here. Don't ever, I just preached on this not that long ago. I talked about the woman at the well in Samaria, and I was like, don't overlook people, right? So if you had taken me and Scott out of this workplace environment, there is no way it makes sense on paper that we're friends.
Yeah.
We don't have much in common.
Nope. I'm
But
more of a sporty, athletic. You're
I'm
more
not.
of a band guy.
I am not,
Yeah.
but we're really close friends.
But I think one of the things that ties us close, is the fact that we like similar shows.
Yeah, it's things outside
We have
of
similar
that.
humor too.
Yeah, I guess so.
We laugh.
No. Yeah, we do. And so anyway, you'll hear more of that. And it was funny because I recently over the summer, I was just reflecting. I always think about this podcast. Thankful for it, by the way. Thank you, Pastor Johnny and board for letting us do this.
Yeah.
But like, I think, how can we make it better? How can we, make changes? And so I was like, let me just start from the beginning. So I started from the very first episode. And so those first two, the first one was you sharing your story and me sharing mine with number two. And it was just the two of us. And I was like, this chemistry, this back and forth, I was like, I wish we had more of that. So that's what we're going to do. So anyway, long story short, Pastor Scott and I are going to do this possibly weekly. We'll see. Well, at least we'll record weekly and have more in the bank, and we'll cover relevant topics.
Yeah.
So whatever headlines are being made, this is the time to do that because lots happens every day from day to day. We'll kind of talk about news and a Christian biblical perspective, maybe what's going on in our lives, and just keep it relevant, but also keep bringing you hope and healing, hopefully. So
and then also we're still gonna have guests, like you said earlier. We're still gonna have special topics with special guests coming on and having a good conversation that brings hope and healing with them. But while also this is going to be our main focus, where we will still have guests, but our main focus is kind of do things a little more simpler so we can actually put out quality content consistently instead of doing quality content that we have been doing on a bigger scale with guests and doing larger episodes and doing video as well. Every 2 weeks we were doing it.
Yeah, and I think we're still going to release reels and shorts as previews for the episodes, but the actual episodes will be audio only most of the time. Yeah. Not always. We haven't really decided how we're going to decide if it should be a video or not, but 9 times, if it's just me and you, it's going to be audio.
Yeah.
Which personally, I'm by the way, quick question, how many podcasts do you listen to regularly?
I usually listen to...
I'm going to count how many I listen to.
Youth ministry podcasts every so often. I don't have a specific one I like, but I dabble around with those, but I usually listen to a lot of churches that post their sermons on podcasts. But any podcast that I've ever listened to, I've never watched a video of a podcast.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. So currently I use Apple Podcasts. Our youth intern does not. What do you use?
I use Amazon Podcasts, actually. It's off of Amazon Music. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Okay.
Amazon Music #1.
So I listen to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 I have in my library. And what I'm getting at is 90% of the time I like to listen on the podcast app. And some of those do have like video on YouTube, but I never watch them. So anyway, if it's just me and Scott, it'll be audio only. Just to make it simple. And we know you're folding laundry right now. We know you're driving to work right now. We know you're cleaning dishes, and that's the thing I do when I listen to podcasts or mowing the lawn, So bringing hope and healing, just trying to get back to the why of why we did this. And I will say we've gotten better at putting this stuff together, and our equipment's improved.
Oh, yeah.
And the studio, I think, looks really cool. We'll keep messing with stuff. But, yeah, that's kind of what's going on here. So.
Yeah, also, if you guys as listeners have any topics, any subjects, any things that you would like to hear, just email us, leave a comment, let us know, hey, this is something that I want to hear. This is something that I think you guys should talk about. And we'll sit and have some honest conversation about it, because if there's one thing that me and Aaron we're honest with our opinions. We're not going to sugarcoat them, but we're also going to make sure that we're being scriptural and all that good stuff. So just let us know what you guys are wanting to listen to, what you guys are wanting to hear, so we can make it a little better and more enjoyable for you guys.
Yeah, so we'll see you out there on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube.
A big thank you.
Yeah,
last thing I'll say, so thank you to everybody that has been listening.
Yeah.
We have some faithful listeners, and I just want to say thank you, and giving us the opportunity, listening to our podcast every 2 weeks when we put it out. Just thank you guys so much for believing in us and being consistent.
Share it, and help us out. So
yeah. Thanks for watching or listening. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Or if you listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, add this show to your library. And if you could drop us a rating or review, that would be awesome. Love y'all. Shalom.